Tony Poulos reporting from day 2 at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It was a big day here yesterday with speakers from both WhatsApp and Facebook on the keynote sessions. The CEO from WhatsApp was the first to come up and say that they were now going to go from messaging into voice. A big move and an unusual statement to make at a conference where people are relying on voice for their revenues at the moment. It was followed by Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, who really threw the cat amongst the pigeons by suggesting that the internet should be free for everyone to access, and the idea of internet.org was broached. He's also made a new fashion statement. Gone are the black t-shirts of the Steve Jobs era. We're now all moving towards grey t-shirts because that's what Zuckerberg appears to be wearing. But for the rest of us, it was a day of walking around, catching up. I managed to do 18 kilometres yesterday, according to my Fitbit. And we're going to go and have a look at some of the other news of the day from the floor. A thankless job here at Mobile World Congress is keeping the floors clean with hordes of people walking around. They do a fantastic job. The other big news from day 1 here at Mobile World Congress was that Nokia, recently acquired by Microsoft, has announced a low-cost Android handset aimed at the emerging markets. That'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. And who else would you expect to run into on the floor of Mobile World Congress but Alan Haddon from the GSA. Alan, great to see you. Tell me, what is hot this year for you and what are you doing here?
Well, the buzz is LTE. It has been for a little while now. It's the fastest developing technology. Today I went along to a press conference given by Megapon of Russia, where they made the launch, or the first commercial launch, of the world's fastest LTE network. So that's a peak speed of 300 megabits per second. Launched today in Moscow, and you can the tariffs are published. You can buy the first devices and so on.
So it's ready to go.
Well, it's LTE Advanced is reality. We have it in Asia, and now we're getting it in Russia, and these trials are going on throughout the world. It's going to be a very important year, I think.
Well, yesterday at the keynotes, they started talking about 5G, like as if we're using up all the speed now. Not a great big advancement on speed. A big advancement on speed. I think 1 gigabyte gigabit they're talking about, but it has to be within a 2-kilometre distance from a base station, etc. So I'm thinking that maybe we should stick with LTE and really get advanced LTE going and make the best of that before we start worrying about 5G.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised that we're talking about the next step, because these next steps take about 10 years typically from when people talk about them to really working out what it is. I mean, I would say about 5G today, I mean, it's not a legal term. It's a term people use.
Yes.
So, what does it mean? What does it not mean? I think one thing we can be sure of is that the industry won't throw away its past investments.
They can't.
So LTE and the earlier system are going to be part of that story, but there's going to be something new, and we're going to have to work out what it's going to be.
New, don't we? Thanks very much, Alan. Great to see you again.
Pleasure.